Hello everyone. Today I will talk about dysfunctional uterine bleeding. It is one of the menstrual disorders. It is also shortly called DUB. We start with its definition. It is excessive or abnormal uterine bleeding without any clinically detectable organic cause. Usually, whenever there is abnormal bleeding from the uterus, it is due to either uterine tumor or due to inflammation in genital tract or due to pregnancy. Uterine bleeding during pregnancy may occur due to abortion or APH. The cause depends on the duration of the pregnancy. But here, without any such detectable cause, without any obvious such cause, bleeding occurs per vagina from the uterus, and that is termed as dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Now, these bleeding may be menorrhagia. Menorrhagia is profuse menses either in duration or in flow. Normally, the duration of the menstrual flow is 4 to 5 days in a cycle, but sometimes menses process for 7 to 10 days. So, duration is longer. The flow may be average, but duration is longer, so it is menorrhagia. In some other conditions, the flow is profuse. The duration is average. The menses process for say 4 to 5 days only, but the flow is very heavy. On an average, a woman is using 3 pads per day. It is the average flow. But when she requires more than that in a day, it is the menorrhagia. So DUB can occur as menorrhagia. Then polymenorrhea. Polymenorrhea is the frequent menses, too frequent menses. The woman gets menses every 2 weeks. The duration is every 2 weeks. It is less than 3 weeks. That is the polymenorrhea. There may be metrorrhagia. It is a irregular intermenstrual bleeding. Right? So DUB can occur as menorrhagia, polymenorrhea, or metrorrhagia. Normally, the bleeding continues. It processes for very long time, but it is preceded by amenorrhea. That means before the continued bleeding, the woman will have certain period of the amenorrhea. Right? So here, as I told you, DUB can occur as menorrhagia, polymenorrhea, or metrorrhagia. So the bleeding becomes abnormal either in the frequency. If it is abnormal in frequency, the term is polymenorrhea. Abnormality may be there in the amount or duration of menses. The condition is menorrhagia, or sometimes there may be combination of any of these conditions. Right? So that is DUB. Now the incidence of these conditions. It persists in about 15 to 20% cases of all gynecological conditions. DUB is caused by endocrine dysfunction, particularly anovulation. This is the cause of DUB. It is endocrinal dysfunction leading to DUB, and mainly dysfunction is in the anovulation. So that is the main cause of the DUB. There are two types of DUB: regular bleeding and irregular bleeding. In regular bleeding, the woman can have menorrhagia, polymenorrhea, or polymenorrhagia. Either of these can be there. Regular bleeding is the ovular bleeding, and here in regular bleeding there is no menstrual endocrinal dysfunction. Endocrinal dysfunction in the menstrual cycle is not found in the regular type of DUB. Another type is irregular bleeding. In the irregular bleeding, it is due to the menstrual endocrinal dysfunction. Right? So that is main reason of irregular bleeding. Mostly bleeding is anovular. It is seen in puberty, premenopause, obesity, PCOD, that is polycystic ovarian disease, and corpus luteal abnormalities. It may also occur following childbirth or abortion. Now here there is one condition related to DUB. It is metropathia hemorrhagica. Sometimes 5 marks short note is asked on this term, metropathia hemorrhagica. It is due to menstrual endocrine dysfunction. The main cause of metropathia hemorrhagica is menstrual endocrinal dysfunction. The dysfunction is mainly in the ovarian function. there is ovarian dysfunction. Now, you have studied the physiology of menstrual cycle, so you know the action of different hormones or the effect of different hormones on menstrual phases, right? What the LH causes? LH initiates ovulation. Luteinizing hormone initiates the ovulation, but here in this condition there is failure of this LH defect. So LH effect is not there. Because of that, Graafian follicle will persist. Its rupture will not occur because ovulation occurs only after the rupture of the Graafian follicle. But due to the failure of this LH effect, Graafian follicle persists. Ovulation will not occur, and so there will be no corpus luteum formation. So this condition leads to metropathia hemorrhagica. Now what you see in these condition, there is prolonged bleeding often preceded by period of amenorrhea for 1 to 2 months. So continuous bleeding is there, but that occurs after the 1 or 2 months amenorrhea. The bleeding is painless. The hemorrhage is painless. If you go through therapeutics, milefolium is very good drug for the painless bleeding. It may be used for DUB, even used for painless hemorrhage in PPH. This condition is very common in premenopausal age and in the adolescent age group. So this is the age group in which this condition is most commonly seen. Now we come to clinical features of DUB. Its occurrence is especially during the reproductive life. So DUB is more common in the reproductive age group. Especially it is common during puberty to adolescence, that means before 20 years. Also occur before menopause, that is after 40 years. It may occur after childbirth or the abortion, so it may occur during 20 to 40 years. So on an average, DUB is more common in 20 to 40 years of age group. It is also more common in the parous women rather than the nulliparous women. First we see the symptoms of the DUB. The woman will have menorrhagia and polymenorrhea. I just explained you what is menorrhagia, what is polymenorrhea. Sometimes the woman can have menometrorrhagia. The menses is profuse also and it is irregular also. Combination of menorrhagia and metrorrhagia. The prolonged painless bleeding preceded by a period of amenorrhea for 1 to 2 months. Because of this continuous bleeding, there is profuse blood loss, and this profuse blood loss leads to anemia. So the woman will also have symptoms of the anemia. Symptoms of the anemia are palpitation, exhausted feeling, vertigo feeling, the woman feels weak, right? So these are all the symptoms of the anemia. So they are felt, they are experienced by the patient. If we go through the signs, on examination, the woman is found anemic. When we examine the patient clinically, like pale tongue, pale nails, face is pale. So these are all the features of the anemia, right? Then woman may be obese. So obesity is common. Sometimes the woman may have the features of the PCOD. So menstrual irregularity may go in favor of the PCOD. On per vaginal examination, we find that cervix is normal, even the uterus is felt normal size, but in some cases, uterus is felt little soft and bulky. It is felt enlarged. Cystic ovary can be felt in one or either side of the uterus. So these you find on per vaginal examination. Now, after examination, we come to the investigations. Very first investigation is endometrial curating. This will confirm the diagnosis of DUB. It is done in all cases done in all cases above the age of 19 years. It is very important finding. Then you will have to go for the blood test. Blood is tested to know different conditions, like hemoglobin estimation is done for anemia. So if the woman is found to be anemic, it should be confirmed by hemoglobin estimation. Then we should also go for the blood platelet time, bleeding time and clotting time, especially when the woman is suffering from hemorrhagic disorders. WBC count is advised when the woman has leukemia, right? So for different clinical conditions, for the confirmation, blood should be tested. Then pap smear. The women who are achieving menopausal age, for them, pap smear is very important to detect carcinoma of the cervix, right? So cervical biopsy is also important whenever you suspect the carcinomatous condition. Then hormonal assay. Hormonal assessment should be done, especially when you are suspecting PCOD. You should go for urinary 17 ketosteroid and plasma testosterone. These two tests, I am repeating, urinary 17 ketosteroid and plasma testosterone. These are tested for PCOD, and whenever you are suspecting thyroid some disturbance, you may go for the serum TSH examination. Now differential diagnosis. DUB must be differentiated from various pelvic conditions. Wherever the main feature is the vaginal bleeding, you have to differentiate DUB from all those other hemorrhagic conditions. Pelvic conditions include abortion, disturbed tubal gestation, endometrial tuberculosis, endometrial polyp, small uterine fibroid, endometrial carcinoma, and IUCD. IUCD is intrauterine contraceptive device. If you go through all these conditions, in all the conditions, the important feature is vaginal bleeding. So whenever there is hemorrhage per vagina, it has to be differentiated from the DUB. Other such condition is endocrinopathy, endocrinological disorders like granulosa cell tumor, hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism causes anovulation and menorrhagia. That's why whenever the woman has irregular type of DUB, or when the main feature of DUB is menorrhagia, it has to be differentiated from the thyroid dysfunction, or you can say hypothyroidism in specific. Then hematological disorders, blood disorders like idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. So these may occur, or these may produce hemorrhagic condition, hemorrhage per vagina, so has to be differentiated from DUB. Now the treatment of this condition. First, the aim of the treatment. Aim is to control abnormal uterine bleeding. It has to be controlled, it has to be stopped, right? And important thing is this control should be in the bleeding phase. So our aim should be to control the abnormal uterine bleeding, especially in the bleeding phase, and we have to promote the cyclical bleeding because DUB is producing acyclical bleeding. So we have to promote the cyclical bleeding. For that, the woman is advised nutritious food, boiled water intake, and 2 hours afternoon rest. This will improve uterine blood flow and this will help to correct the bleeding disorder. Also, the woman is advised hormone therapy. If the woman is obese, the weight reduction is important either by exercise or by diet restriction. You may go for the blood transfusion if the woman is severely anemic, right? And the anemia is due to the prolonged bleeding per vagina. When the menses is heavy, when hemoglobin is less than 5 gram per cent, at that time blood transfusion becomes life-saving. It is more important. So it is more advisable in the severe anemia where the hemoglobin concentration is very low. You may go for the uterine curettage. DNC can be done when the bleeding remains uncontrolled. After doing all these efforts, after giving the anti-hemorrhagic drugs or suitable other remedies, if the bleeding does not stop, ultimately you may go for the uterine curettage. DNC can be done. So this was all about DUB, dysfunctional uterine bleeding. I hope you understood the topic very well. Thank you.